Yesterday morning at 3:38, the phone rang. And it was a junior in college at UW Oshkosh who said to me, "I'm so sorry for waking you up, but I need to talk. And I don't know where else to go." His girlfriend of 3 years had broken up with him a couple weeks before. He was out drowning his sorrows Friday night and bumped into her and her new boyfriend and got into a little scuffle and just needed to talk. He couldn't sleep. I was glad that he felt comfortable enough to call me. I often tell kids when they go off to college, "We're here for you. You've got my cell phone number. Anytime, anything going on, if there's any way I can help, just track me down." And so we spent about a half hour in conversation talking about the risk that anyone takes when you fall in love and get into a deep relationship like that. I invited him to let God help carry some of that burden and heal the broken heart. And after the half hour or so, he thanked me again and said, "I just didn't know where else to go." Where do you and I go when we have a broken heart, or when we are experiencing difficulties in our lives, when things don't just quite go the way we wish they had? Well, in the gospel this morning, it's what's going on with the disciples. Their hearts are broken. Jesus had died on the cross, and they were very confused yet as to resurrection, if it was real, what it meant, and so on. And where they went was back home. They went home to Galilee. And once they got there, they decided to go fishing. And that is precisely where the risen Christ touched their lives and healed their hearts. Right where they were, in the boat and on the shore. And Jesus simply said two things to them. One, let's eat. And two, love one another. And for 2,000 years, that is what disciples of Jesus Christ have done. They have gathered around the table in response to Jesus' command, "Let's eat," and have striven to do all in their power to love one another. It is to the table that we go, and it is loving that we do. The rest of the story, of course, after this breakfast meal, was to include their going forth on a mission to invite others to do the same, to invite others to know the joy of sharing the meal and loving one another. Do we not do the same? As we were planning to come this morning, perhaps since last weekend, do we not bring our kids and their friends? Do we not suggest it to our neighbors and coworkers and in-laws and people that we meet when we're out and about? We are doing that, right? We are inviting others to come with us. We are on a mission to share the joy that we find here. We are trying to do everything we can to grow the church, right? We're all doing that. Nod your heads. Yes, we're all doing that. This afternoon is one of our 2 First Communion celebrations. And the other Father Dave is presiding at the event. But the other day I was with a bunch of little second graders, and one of them said to me, "Are you doing our First Communion Mass?" I said, "No, the other Father Dave is." And she looked at me and she said, "But you'll come too, won't you?" So it looks like I won't be watching the Masters this afternoon. I'll be coming to First Communion. But what better way to say it than in the words of an 8-year-old? Let's all this week pretend that we are 8. And we bump into family and neighbor and coworker and even stranger. Let us echo her words and be bold enough to say, "You're coming too, aren't you?" What better way to reach out and invite others to know the joy? Come, eat with me. Go, love